Biosafety. The first thing people want to know about any new technology is safety. Are there new risks? How would we know? Who would we trust? For GMOs, answers come from biosafety institutions that supervise scientific testing of new seeds. Yet many people are unconvinced by assurances that GMOs are tested and safe because of corporations that often supply the testing and the data used to certify safety have an interest in the outcome. Moreover, regulatory agencies that should be looking after the public interest in safety are populated by former or future corporate employees in what's called a revolving door system that makes them less trustworthy. There's also a fear that corporate power can influence governments and their regulators directly through bribes, campaign contributions, social connections among elite classes, and less directly, corporate soft power can influence public opinion and decision makers with media campaigns that use cash to co-opt supposedly independent scientists. Whether or not corporate power has a thumb on the scale, there's a practical biosafety problem as well. Control of seeds by either corporations or government has proved to be inherently difficult. Seeds are living organisms that replicate themselves and cannot be recalled once released. So even if government agencies are diligent, biosafety regimes like bioproperty regimes have often proved unable to control the unauthorized proliferation of biotech seeds. Companies making patented pharmaceuticals and software or copyrighted music and films have a hard time getting their property claims enforced. There's rampant what's called piracy or just unauthorized appropriation all over the world. Seeds are even harder to control. They reproduce themselves. We've seen on every continent the spread of biotech seeds among farmers beneath the radar of both firms and governments. Farmers seek to avoid both government regulations and technology fees that drive up their cost. The result of this is what I call stealth seeds, very much like unapproved copying of software, music, videos, and pharmaceuticals, common all over the world. We used to think there was a biotech solution to this problem with what was called colorfully Terminator technology that would render biotech seeds sterile. A patent was issued jointly to the United States Department of Agriculture, the Agricultural Research Service, with a private cotton firm, Delta and Pineland, in 1998 for gene use restriction technology. The Terminator would be able to stop gene flow from genetically engineered plants, a major biosafety concern, and assure seed firms that farmers would have to buy new seeds every year, protecting their property claims, but creating a new kind of cash dependency. Farmers could not save biotech seeds from planting if the Terminator were implemented. But biopolitics kicked in. The technology was so unpopular that it was never deployed or even tested in any field crop. And there's scientific evidence to suggest it may not even work in the fields if it were incorporated into a crop. That leaves nagging doubts about how exactly biosafety regimes could work. First, why should citizens believe assurances that germplasm in far-flung fields can be monitored when even very powerful corporations with deep interest in their profits cannot control the underground spread of the technology? It's hard to imagine, in any realistic sense, seed police in every village around the world. Second, it's hard to know how high to set the safety bar, with consequences for bioproperty. Well, let's see how that works. If we set the biosafety bar very high, only large firms with deep pockets, regulatory compliance staff, and connections will be able to get crops approved. A very high bar then disadvantages small firms, individual scientists and universities, and advantages multinational life science firms. Biosafety then serves as a kind of bioproperty. If you set the bar too low, more crops could be developed by more people, but not just the large corporations, but perhaps the cost would be less biosafety. Setting the bar exactly right, this is the Goldilocks issue, get it just right, is especially difficult when there is no evidence of hazard produced by any GMO. And yet there's a great suspicion that these crops are more risky than other crops and less worthy of trust. Finally, as our transition to learning about trust and risk, we have an exercise based on a recent controversy in the United States. Both biotechnology and natural foods corporations have been enlisting academics in the GMO lobbying war, as published in the New York Times. Please read the article and complete the exercises.